Kiss on the first date, yes or no? That's the question that even made Carlos Alcaraz nervous and that Emma Raducanu answered with a bluntness that surprised many. In the middle of a fun Sky Sports quiz, the two tennis players showed opinions as different as their playing styles on court. But of course, what everyone wonders is, did they themselves have their first kiss on a date off camera? Let's find out in this video. The sporting partnership of Alcaraz and Raducanu at the US Open not only brought titles, it also sparked rumors. Their chemistry in mixed doubles fueled shipping on social media, and with answers like these, the spark is still alive. Best of all, between laughter, nerves, and signs saying friend and enemy, the two made it clear that, even if they don't always think alike, their chemistry is undeniable. It all began with the first question of the quiz: kiss on the first date, yes or no? Carlos Alcaraz was the first to respond, and as soon as he heard the question he blurted out a nervous Jesus. With a laugh. The Mercian didn't quite know how to react, and his face said it all. Right after, Emma Raducanu took control of the situation, immediately raising the enemy sign, totally rejecting the idea of a kiss on the first date. Her response was firm, almost as if she wanted to make her point crystal clear. The camera then focused back on Alcaraz, who finally raised his friend sign. With a smile, he admitted he could agree with the idea of a kiss on that first date. The difference between the two was evident, and it was precisely that contrast that fueled even more speculation on social media. Many began to guess that, if they had ever gone on a date off the court, Emma was probably the cautious one, while Carlos let himself get carried away by the moment. Interestingly, that wasn't the only question where they disagreed. The quiz also included the classic one about whether pineapple belongs on pizza. For Alcaraz, the answer was clear: no, please. Raducanu, however, laughed, raised the friend sign, and even apologized by saying, "I'm so sorry." Another clash of tastes that, far from dividing them, only increased the public's fondness for this quirky sporting pair. The quiz went on with a modern question: automated checkouts without human interaction. Alcaraz opposed it, defending human interaction, while Raducanu said she was in favor, probably valuing the speed and convenience of technology. Once again, opposite opinions, but expressed with ease and freshness, which turned the test into viral material. Despite the differences, there were moments when they agreed. Both confidently raised the friend sign when it came to karaoke. And of course, imagining two tennis stars singing out of tune is as funny as it is endearing. That moment of agreement fit perfectly with the youthful, fun image they both project on and off the court. Another moment of complicity came when they both agreed that wearing Crocs is totally fine. Laughing, they shared that relaxed opinion, showing they don't mind being carefree and authentic. They also agreed that taking off shoes during a flight isn't a problem, a small detail but one that shows that, although different in many aspects, they do share some basic everyday comforts. The most talked about detail of the whole quiz wasn't so much the clash of opinions, but their facial expressions and body language. Alcaraz appeared nervous and a bit playful with the kiss question, while Raducanu kept a serious and determined stance. That duality gave the impression that, even though she tried to keep her composure, he was much more open to joking about the subject, feeding further speculation of a possible romantic interest. Social media wasted no time exploding. Fans flooded the clips of the quiz with comments, analyzing every gesture, every smile, every knowing glance. The kiss on the first date question became a meme, and many users bet that, if it hadn't happened already, it would eventually happen. The fun tension between them became perfect material for shipping on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Another key factor was Frances Tiafoe's presence as the host of the quiz, adding humor and spontaneity. The dynamic, which involved more than 20 tennis players including names like Medvedev, Paolini, Collins, Ruud, or Goff, was meant to show the athlete's more human side. However, it was Alcaraz and Raducanu who stole the show with their charisma and natural chemistry in front of the cameras. The contrast in answers reinforced the perception that their differences don't separate them but make them more interesting as a duo. Emma, with her confidence and determination, and Carlos, with his spontaneity and charm, seemed to complement each other in an almost cinematic way. And of course, when a pair works so well on screen, the public can't help but imagine that something more could be happening behind the scenes. Although officially both maintain that they are just friends and partners on court, the speculation hasn't stopped. The simple fact that they share so many everyday preferences, combined with their evident on-camera chemistry, has given fans enough reason to wonder whether that famous first date might have included a kiss that was never admitted publicly. The question remains open and will probably continue fueling headlines. And if one analyzes it, perhaps the most important thing isn't whether there was a kiss or not, but the magnetism they generate together. The public loves to see two young tennis stars being authentic, debating pineapple on pizza or Crocs on a plane, and letting slip genuine moments. That mix of youth, freshness, and mystery is what really makes their relationship, on or off the court, so captivating. Emma Raducanu speaks out about Alcaraz's new look. "I think it suits him great." The British tennis player, who played the US Open mixed doubles alongside Alcaraz, gave her opinion on the player's much talked about new haircut. Many have spoken about Carlos Alcaraz's new look at the US Open, but Emma Raducanu's opinion was still missing. Given the chemistry and good relationship between the Mercian and the British player, anything involving both draws great interest. The British player, born in Toronto on November 13, 2002, said that Alcaraz looks great with the shaved head he debuted at Flushing Meadows, New York. "I think it suits him. I think it looks great. I think he just owns it, and if you have a haircut like that, then it can work. I think whatever he does, it won't affect what he does on the court. I'm just happy to see him enjoying himself with whatever," said Raducanu about Alcaraz's new look. The 2021 US Open champion will face Elena Rybakina this Friday in the third round of the Grand Slam. A few days ago, Raducanu played the US Open mixed doubles with Alcaraz, but they lost their first match to Jack Draper and Jessica Pegula. In recent months there has been talk of a possible romantic relationship between Carlos Alcaraz and Emma Raducanu, rumors that skyrocketed after seeing the British player in the stands of the All England club supporting the Mercian during the last Wimbledon. But Raducanu herself put those rumors to rest by saying, "We're just good friends." The pair of Carlos Alcaraz and Emma Raducanu began their participation in the revamped US Open mixed doubles amid widespread expectation. Under the lights of Arthur Ashe Stadium, the pair fell to Jessica Pegula and Jack Draper by a convincing 4-2 scoreline in just 50 minutes. Despite the loss, they smiled throughout and exchanged jokes during the match. The short format, designed to attract the public, did not lessen the intensity of the match. Although the Spanish-British duo were playing together for the first time, their coordination was evident despite their limited doubles experience. The match lasted less than an hour, but was filled with good-humored and committed moments. The most talked about aspect wasn't so much the score, but the body language of the young players, whom the gossip press has been trying to link for months. From the warm-up, their gestures, knowing looks, whispered words, laughter after each shot, gave off a special connection. That dynamic continued even after the defeat. They greeted their opponents, shared friendly gestures with the crowd, and signed autographs with relaxed, charming expressions. Rumors of a possible romance between Alcaraz and Raducanu have been circulating on social media for months. However, so far they have remained just that, rumors. Neither has confirmed anything. Raducanu has even clarified that they are just good friends. Their chemistry seems more like natural affinity born in past tournaments like Wimbledon and Queen's, rather than romance. Their US Open debut, aside from being their first joint appearance on court, was a spectacle that generated a wave of affection among spectators. The public even coined the term Raducarats to refer to the duo, whose charisma briefly eclipsed the scoreline. The atmosphere fit perfectly with the revamped format aimed at combining elite tennis with entertainment. The result may have been a sporting defeat, but the media and emotional impact was an undeniable victory. Their complicity, gestures, and the underlying romantic tension, more wish than reality, captured global attention. Time will tell if that energy translates into future encounters on or off the court. For now, their emotional connection already marked the start of the tournament. Frances Tiafoe is another tennis player who commented on Carlos Alcaraz's new look at the US Open. "It's horrible, but he's my buddy. It's funny. I don't know who told him it's good. I don't know who told him to do that, but it's terrible. Coming from a guy who gets his hair cut week after week and takes pride in good haircuts, it's horrendous. He needs to spend more time with me, that's for sure," admitted Tiafoe. Yannick Sinner also shared his opinion on the Spanish player's radical haircut. "Honestly, I think everything suits him. It suits him. It'll grow back in a couple of days, but even as it is now, it looks fine. Longer hair suits him too," said the Italian from San Candido. Carlos Alcaraz keeps advancing in the US Open. The Mercian comfortably defeated Mattia Bellucci to reach the third round, but true to his style, he didn't stop at the superficial. After the win, he spoke about his game and what still doesn't convince him, about his consistency in recent months, and above all, about the lessons he carries from the painful elimination he suffered last year in the second round. "I think I played a very solid match," began the number 2 in the PIF ATP rankings. "I had set some goals before the start and I think I met them pretty well. There are things I need to improve, shots I didn't feel completely comfortable with, errors I didn't like," he added. Mattia made a lot of easy mistakes that didn't let me get into rhythm, and I also missed balls I shouldn't have. In the end, we're here to keep improving, to be demanding with ourselves. The Merchant stressed that those details are part of his learning process, of seeking his most recognizable version that will allow him to aim at winning the title again at Flushing Meadows. Especially in the first and second set there were points where he made very easy mistakes, he couldn't find rhythm, and then when he got a bit more solid and aggressive he caught me by surprise, said the 22-year-old. That's why I say it shouldn't happen, although you also have to have a bit of leniency and accept it's normal. These are little things we still need to do better. Alcaraz admitted that the shadow of what happened a year ago still lingers. In 2024, the Merchant bid farewell in his second match in New York, at the hands of Botic van de Zandschulp.